Muhammad, and she wrote an essay, and the essay is called "No Longer Negroes, Abolish the N-Word."
Oh, boy.
Now, of course, we got Jesse Jackson, you know, we got all of these leaders, teachers, saying that we shouldn't use the N-word.
Yeah.
Nigga. It's capable, so I can say it. Negro, I don't know if I could ever stop using Negro. But particularly nigga. And she says, in this article, she says, one of the quotes, and this is in bold black, so I'm going to read this one. Calling black people by the N-word shows that we are not grateful for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, Sojourner Truth, or even the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and all of their hard work and sacrifices, making sure that we are considered more than slaves, but judged by the content of our character. Thoughts?
Okay. Okay, so this is the part. Well, first of all, the little sister is exactly where she ought to be.
Right.
So I definitely want to acknowledge that. Having said that, I'm 32 and have been infected and affected by being here a lot longer than she.
Right.
And so, I mean, this is the part wherein I tell you that though I'm an educated woman in the traditional miseducated sense, as well as in the counterintelligence Underground Railroad sense, I do admit that I say nigga. Right. And I'm not plagued with any identity crisis. I'm not self-loathing in any way. I love us. And in fact, I love us so much that we make me sick.
Right.
And just sick because we don't reflect our royal capabilities, and sick because we still think having a channel like BET denotes progress, never mind that it's a vehicle for all the messages and images that prove our undoing, and just sick because we still think singing and blinging is the way to everlasting life. So I say nigga because there's still a lot of niggas out there, and I know how they got here, so their etymology isn't lost on me. But we sure seem like we fight for our tenure, you know, our right to remain niggas. And I wish that I heard the NAACP lobby for the discontinuation of niggas themselves as much as I heard them lobby for the discontinuation of the word. I think it's interesting that the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is always picketing and protesting and insisting that folk change, but they remain colored people. You know, if they changed that to the National African American Coalition for Progress, they wouldn't even have to change their initials. But you're asking others to change. So I'm a little bit cynical. I guess I'm just tired of rehashing old subjects in new ways, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, nigga's a word, but it's also a way of being. It's a condition, right. You know, and it's more damaging than the name. So. Whew. And I know it's a touchy subject. It's like a favorite for, you know, black folk of some education who are vying for a particular position in their community to sort of talk about how we've got to collectively, you know, do away with nigga. I understand that. But I sometimes feel like it is the cart before the horse, because I don't hear that same kind of rigorous argument around our condition.
Right.
I hear it around the semantics.
Right.
You know, and to me, there are also other words that for us are far more damaging. Due to etymology of slave, that ain't got nothing to do with us.
Right.
But during Black History Month, you hear descendants of slaves 50 million times. So.
That's some old Europeans.
But this is a young person.
Right.
And so that's why I said, in that respect and in that context, she is exactly where she needs to be, because she's doing the work of saying, be self-defining.
Right.
That's important.
And I think it's important to note that this sister's name is Sister Nisa Muhammad, and which really means that she was raised with knowledge of self.
Yeah, clearly.
And so,
yeah.
and so it's hard for her to embrace nigga when she's never known that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I agree with you in the sense that the NAACP should, instead of focusing on the word, they should focus on nigga stuff.
That's right.
Like, why is Budweiser a sponsor for the NAACP Image Awards?
That's right.
Or why is McDonald's a sponsor for the Image Awards?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why is it that you don't see these commercials with brothers in Escalades? You know what I'm saying? Or Chrysler 300s.
Right.
On no other TV program except for when the Image Awards comes on or the BET Awards come on.
Right.
Why is it that they allow these companies to exploit for money their name in order to sell their product?
That's right.
That's
See, that's the
stuff.
larger. That's right.
Right.
That's right. Hence the reason I continue, because that is the larger conversation that we ought to be having as a community. You know, if in fact you are a beacon, if in fact you've named yourself as a component of change, you know, a catalyst for change, then you need to change.
Right.
You need to change, because I don't see that picking and protesting, marching to the middle of the road methodology really scaling any mountains. Right. I don't really see you doing that. I see you operating within a system that's flawed. I see you having protest marches where before you go out, you get permission to march, to protest, and make deals with police officers about how many arrests they can make.
Or sponsorship.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the kind of thing for me that's the larger conversation. Of course, I realize that's unpopular.
No, I just want to I want to read this definition because I know you're a fan of words. I'm a fan of words as well. Nigger, they say nigger, is slang, extremely disparaging and offensive. A person of any race or origin regarded as contemptible, inferior, ignorant, etc.
Yeah. That word, there's a whole historiography around that word. Nigger and Negro, you know. We know that like around 1443 was when we first started hearing Negro. And that was with the Portuguese slave traders, just because Negro is black. So it was a reference to this, you know, the skin tone of the people they were enslaving. Negro. When you look at the way that language gets bastardized, once it gets into the mouth of Billy Bob in Mississippi, it changes, you know what I mean, and becomes something else.
Right.
You know, I mean, we American people are wonderful at bastardizing the language.
Right, absolutely.
So, you know, nigger, Negro, colored.
And it's interesting to know, too, just like what you said, the bastardization of language. Because, you know, I've even heard it, I read somewhere that, you know, it was some tobacco-chewing, overall-wearing redneck cracker who couldn't say, he looked at a map and saw the word Niger.
Yeah.
Or Niger.
Niger.
And couldn't say it.
Right.
So he like, nigga.
Nigger.
And so the word evolved, you know, from somebody's ignorance.
Right. The people that lived along the river Niger. But Bubba couldn't say it.
Bubba couldn't say it.
Bubba couldn't say it. So.
Now, another, go ahead.
No, just and ultimately, I mean, it is about naming yourself.
Right.
Not allowing someone to name you for you. So I get that piece. But I do maintain that nigga is a condition.
Right.
And the condition needs to be eradicated before the word.
Now, one more piece she wrote in this article. She said, I was on the internet last Thursday after school, and I discovered a posting about Alicia Keys doing her first movie. The director asked her to say the N-word, and she proudly stood and said no. A lot of you all think that that's dumb. It's just a movie. However, Alicia Keys respects herself and her people. She showed that by not speaking to her fellow actor or actress in a foul term, especially one as foul as the N-word.